Now at 4, we're looking at temperatures in the 20s, but by the weekend we could finally make it above freezing for the first time in a week.
The first deportation flights begin.
This as the first round of troops arrive at the U.S. border. Plus, a Marion County man charged.
He's accused of allegedly threatening to kill immigrants. Plus, going nuclear?
The bill that could change how Indiana gets its energy. And a price hike.
The local frustrations after Netflix moves ahead with another price increase, and customers, you guessed it, they're not happy. Live from Indy, you're watching 13 News at 4.
Not happy about that and not happy about this. All the cold we've been experiencing, but look at that sunshine.
Ooh, that's
here.
nice.
It's nice.
4 p.m. on a Friday. It's beautiful.
Despite the sun making an appearance this afternoon, we still need to bundle up, but this is the start of a warm-up, warmer than we have been anyway, right?
Yeah, it's certainly going to be warmer. I don't want to deceive you into thinking it's going to be dramatically warmer.
No.
This is going to be very subtle.
Compared to what? Wind chills
It feels dramatic.
10 below zero? This is warm.
It will be quite a difference from what we've seen.
Okay.
Starts overnight tonight, but you're still going to have a cold night, not as cold as last night. Let's get right to the temperatures. I mean, it's still into the 20s. We've still got temperatures that are cold, but the sunshine does help, and I think there's a good bit of sunshine in our 7-day forecast. Let's start with where we are currently. We're sitting at 22 for most of you. Temperatures are expected to cool down a bit once we lose that sunshine, and with clear skies, we expect the temperatures to drop. But there's some clouds that are going to try to roll in here, and the start of the warm-up is really because of this, a south wind that's going to kick in. It's actually going to keep our low temperatures from dropping too much below the mid-teens, and then we may actually start to warm up even overnight. Part of the cloudiness is moving in from this. It's a very weak clipper that's trying to move through. I think it'll move through the northern part of the state, give us a chance for a few flurries for tomorrow. Low temperatures tonight into the mid-teens, probably getting there before midnight, and then we could see the temperatures warm up. How about mid to upper 30s for tomorrow? Not as much sunshine, but certainly seeing things warm up a bit with high temperatures into the mid-30s. We'll be headed for 40s in the 7-day forecast. Let me talk traffic because there were a couple of things that were concerning us. Overall, not too bad. There is a good bit of a slowdown there at the 69-465 interchange on the northeast side, but let's also talk about what we've been seeing into parts of 65. There was an accident earlier here northbound right at the 38 kind of split where the lanes split there. Let's go ahead and take you to one of the traffic cameras. We still have that that lane blocked essentially. They have been letting traffic by on the shoulder, but of course you can see it's very slow going, and as folks are trying to head home for your Friday, make sure you're maybe finding an alternate route if you can, exit before you get off on 38, or maybe find another way around. They're still trying to get that damaged vehicle that you see up against the embankment wall. Otherwise, traffic starting to pick up for the Friday rush hour. I'll keep an eye on things for you here. Send it back over to you guys.
All right, thanks for the heads up, Rob. Now to the story we have been following all afternoon. President Trump making good on his campaign promise to ramp up deportations. We've learned the first deportation flights have begun and additional troops are now at the southern border.
This as the president is wanting to make changes to FEMA. Alice Barr explains the immediate changes that are already happening after a few days back in office.
President Trump touring disaster areas on 2 coasts today with visits to hurricane-damaged areas of North Carolina and wildfire-ravaged Los Angeles, while raising new questions by promising an executive order to remake or remove the Federal Emergency Management Agency, with states leading disaster response instead.
I think we're going to recommend that FEMA go away, and we pay directly, we pay a percentage to the state.
He assailed FEMA for its response to Hurricane Helene.
I appreciate you.
As North Carolina victims spoke about the slow road to recovery.
It's been a nightmare, and I totally feel like that we have been forgotten.
Turning to California, the president saying he has conditions for badly needed wildfire relief, including the state enacting voter ID laws and improving water policies. California officials have repeatedly denied President Trump's claims that they withheld water from southern parts of the state. It all comes as the U.S. southern border is seeing a surge in resources, with the first of 1,500 active duty troops the president deployed arriving in El Paso, Texas, as migrant deportation flights started taking off using military planes in a change in policy. Arrests of undocumented migrants also surging, including a workplace raid in Newark, New Jersey, outraging the Democratic mayor.
None of these people were rapists or murderers or criminals. The problem with it is that ICE went in there without a warrant.
President Trump pressing ahead with campaign promises while raising concerns about his administration's methods and how to help disaster victims through their darkest hours. In Washington, Alice Barr, NBC News.
And President Trump is due to stay out west with an address out west tomorrow in Las Vegas.
We are following the immigration changes coming almost daily now from the southern border to Washington and here at home. Indiana's Attorney General is filing a lawsuit against a northern Indiana police department over immigration enforcement. Attorney General Todd Rokita says the sheriff in St. Joseph County, home to South Bend, is refusing to follow state laws on immigration. Ahead at 5 o'clock, why he says their refusal to follow those laws impacts everyone in the Hoosier State. We're digging into that. Again, more on that coming up at 5.
A Southport man is in jail for allegedly using social media to make threats to kill illegal immigrants on Inauguration Day.
Investigators say Preston Pickett made the terrorism threats on TikTok about a week before President Trump returned to office. Rich Nye is here now with what Pickett posted. And Rich, the prosecutor says this is not protected free speech.
Correct. So Preston Pickett was arrested January 16th. His alleged threat said he was going to, quote, kill many illegals on January 20th. TikTok alerted local authorities to several troubling statements Pickett wrote while commenting on other users' posts. That included, "Come J20, I will shoot on sight. I don't check IDs, so you are all illegal to me." And then another comment said, "I will be famous for killing the most illegals in one day." Police traced the account to Pickett and arrested him at a home in Southport. They also confiscated 2 long guns from that house.
When you communicate things online, there can very easily be real-world consequences to what is being said, and free speech is not absolute free speech, and there are limits to what you can say. And once you start threatening other individuals, if you start threatening forcible felonies, at that point in time, there can be criminal consequences that attach to that type of comments and speech.
Pickett is 58 years old. He is charged with 1 count of intimidation. That's a threat to commit terrorism. He made his initial court appearance this morning. He is now held on a greater than standard bond of $100,000 cash. And Pickett was assigned a public defender today. His jury trial is scheduled for March 18th. I also talked to a man at that house in Southport today, and I'll share that conversation coming up at 6 o'clock.
Okay. Rich and I reporting this afternoon. Thank you.
The message today from Indianapolis FOP is that immigration enforcement should be done by federal officers, not local police. FOP President Rick Snyder held a press conference this afternoon to share concerns about legislation making its way through the State House right now. That bill would require police to report undocumented suspects to ICE.
This directive is not only infeasible, but it is also not the appropriate course or manner to ensure proper chains of notification and information sharing.
Snyder says the state should stick with the current practice. Right now, county jails and other detention facilities are responsible for notifications on undocumented suspects. We'll have more from the press conference ahead on 13 News at 5.
And we know you have a lot of questions surrounding immigration. Today, we are going to hear from a local immigration attorney about the new executive orders and what it means for you here in Central Indiana. So stay with us. He joins us live at 4:30.
To the other headlines now. In Muncie today, a shooting left an 18-year-old in critical condition. Police say they discovered it when they pulled a car over for speeding around 3 a.m. When officers approached, they learned the teen had been shot. They say a 17-year-old passenger in the back seat had been handling a gun when the weapon went off. That teen in the back seat was detained while police investigate.
The growing cost of electricity is sparking a debate at the State House about how to fix that.
Should Indiana go nuclear? Experts say we have to do something to start generating more power. And lawmakers are considering a proposal right now that would offer incentives to build and use small modular nuclear reactors, or SMRs for short. They're smaller than traditional nuclear power plants. Supporters say it's cheaper and safer than larger nuclear reactors, but critics argue this isn't yet fully developed and proven. I talked with both sides about it. Should that have a future in Indiana?
I hope so. It's a whole lot less nuclear material, a whole lot less waste, a whole lot safer. They fail passive, not fail active, which means if they overheat, they shut themselves down.
The concern is not that SMRs can't offer any benefit to our electric grid, but the way this is put forward, it's putting a lot of that burden on everyday Hoosiers, and we don't think that's a good way to be investing.
Right now, we get about 45% of our energy from coal in Indiana. 38% comes from natural gas, and then 12% from renewable energy like wind and solar. We talk a lot more about it on this week's edition of Crossroads Politics, streaming Sunday morning at 10 on our WTHR Plus app and on demand. It's a free download in your app store.
Well, we've got the cold air in place across much of the Midwest, but will we see any milder air move our way? It may be next week before we see the true milder air.
Looking forward to it, Rob. Thank you. And questions loom on the new executive orders on immigration.
We got an expert for you. We will hear from an immigration lawyer about what this means for you here in central Indiana. We've got that ahead at 4:30, but first at 4, praying for rain.
The weekend forecast that might provide much needed hope for people battling those California wildfires.